Jim Jordan remains the front runner. The question, does he have the votes? The magic number remains the same, 217. Joining us now for more, New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis. Congresswoman, great to have you on this morning. So I didn't realize that at noon, again, 4 hours from now, Republicans and Democrats are going to be voting. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Take us through how this plays out today.
Well, so at 12 o'clock, we will go to the floor. We will have a roll call, and then we will start calling each person's name. They will have to stand up and say who they will vote for. We know the Democrats will vote for Hakeem Jeffries in block. It's my hope that the Republicans will stand united and vote for Jim Jordan in a block as well. And if that happens, then Jim Jordan will be the next speaker. There is concern that there are still a number of people who are either undecided or they may be protesting the process by which Kevin McCarthy was removed and voting for Kevin McCarthy. But what I would say to my colleagues is that, look, Kevin McCarthy is supporting Jim Jordan. We need to get united behind Jim Jordan. I was an early supporter of Jim Jordan because I believe he is the person that can bring everyone together, from the moderates to the ultra-conservatives and Republicans across the spectrum. Jim Jordan is a team builder. He's a person who has good communication skills. He will be able to take the fight to the Senate and the White House. And we need to get back into the chamber and start doing our job again, because in 30 days, we have government funding expiring again. We have to make sure that we pass the remaining 8 appropriation budget bills and send them over the Senate. And we need to give Jim Jordan the time to have the leverage to negotiate on our behalf as a conference and on behalf of American citizens as well. And so what I would urge is that there are so many pressing issues, from supporting our ally Israel to making sure we finally get this border secure, to making sure that we have the leverage to go into this funding fight, that we have to get united today.
So what's interesting is it's Jim Jordan versus consensus candidate John or Jane Doe. It's not Jim Jordan versus Steve Scalise. You've got nobody else unless you count Patrick McHenry, who's been serving as Speaker for the last 14 days. So I think a lot of people are wondering why the conference won't get behind Jim Jordan today. 2 questions. The first one, Kevin McCarthy's been working the phones over the last 24 hours to try and persuade people that supported McCarthy to support Jim Jordan. Does that make a difference today?
I think it does make a difference. I think there's a lot of people who are still upset by the manner which Kevin McCarthy was removed. Look, I was upset that 8 Republicans chose to side with all the Democrats to remove the speaker that 97% of our conference supported. But the fact is that Kevin McCarthy is now supporting Jim Jordan, and we need to be united as a team. One of the most frustrating things I hear from people in my community and Republicans as a whole is that the Republicans don't stick together. The Democrats always do. And that's why we see the Democrats winning oftentimes.
Right.
Republicans need to unite, because right now is such a critical moment in our country and our world history. We need to stand by our ally. We need to get the government funding, making sure that we are cutting excessive wasteful spending. We got to take that fight to the Senate and the White House. And that's why Republicans have to recognize the fight is not with each other. It's with the Senate, is the White House, on behalf of the American people.
All right, Congresswoman, about a minute left. I just want to squeeze 2 in. Donald Trump, just quickly, he endorsed Jim Jordan about 10 days ago. Does that make a difference? Because if you look at it, he's the front runner for the Republican nomination. He's got a good chance of being president in January 2025. Does that endorsement count?
I think it certainly counts with some people, maybe not everyone. I mean, the reality is we have a lot of members who actually are sitting in districts that President Biden won.
18. You've got 18 that are in districts that Biden won. So, but there are many, many Republicans that are check that, Democrats that are serving in districts that Donald Trump won.
That's correct. I think that, look, there's no doubt that President Trump is still the leader of the party, and many people still support him to get the nomination within our conference. And certainly that has sway. But look, this was just it was just an internal feud among the Republicans that we need to get past here. We need to come together and recognize there's too much at stake. We need to be united at this moment. Jim Jordan is the man to do the job.
Yeah, I get that. And look,
and get it done.
Congresswoman, I'm an Irish Catholic, so I know all about holding grudges. And when we have family fights, sometimes the feud and the grudge can last a long time. I think the American people are hoping that Republicans can figure this out like within the next 4 hours before you start voting. Just quickly, if Jordan's not the speaker on the first ballot at noon today, does this go on and on and on? A 5-day, 15-round slugfest like we saw in January? Could we be looking at that again starting today?
Yes, I do believe it could take potentially more than one round. And that's the reason why we're doing this today, is to find out where everyone is. So that way we can continue to work on the remaining individuals. You can't lose, as you know, 5 votes. So we need to be united. But look, let's put it in perspective. It took 15 rounds to elect Speaker McCarthy. It took 5 rounds to elect the Pope. Having more than one round is probably.
I haven't heard that before, but okay. Okay. Yes, I'll give you that. We'll be watching everything that happens on Capitol Hill today, and we'll bring you that coverage live. Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, great to see you again. Thank you.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
All right.